Highly, and I'm on group 5. And because of power issues, we have to record it individually. So my group decided to do Walmart and Target to compare. And so for my part of the presentation, I'll be talking about the shareholder equity and capital policy. So basically, how Walmart and Target use their profits to reward the investors and strengthen their companies over time. When a company earns a profit, it has a few choices. It can keep some of those profits as retained earnings to invest in the business. It can pay dividends to shareholders, or it can repurchase its stock to increase share value. The way a company balances those choices says a lot about its overall financial strategy. Walmart and Target are both very big and established retailers, but they take slightly different approaches. Walmart focuses more on long term stability, keeping things consistent and predictable for investors. Target is a little more flexible and growth oriented, adjusting its strategy based on performance and market conditions. Looking at how they handle their shareholder equity gives us a good sense of their priorities, whether they value consistency or adaptability. So let's take a look on how these differences show up in their financial results. So we're going to go to the dividends and shareholders return chart that I made for 2024 through 2020 through 2024. And here we're looking at Walmart's and Target's retained earnings, dividends, stock purchases through all these 5 years. Starting with Walmart, you can see that their retained earnings stay very steady, right around the mid 80 billion range. That consistency tells us they prefer a conservative strategy. They're focused on maintaining strong reserves and steady reinvestment instead of taking big risks. Their dividend payments are also extremely consistent. Walmart has been known for gradually increasing dividends every year, which builds investors' confidence as well. They don't raise them dramatically, but they make sure shareholders know they can depend on a regular income throughout the years. When it comes to stock buybacks, Walmart keeps those fairly modest. They buy back shares mainly to manage equity and maintain stock values, not to drive short-term price spikes. Now, Target's approach is a bit different. Their retained earnings move around more from year to year, which shows they're more willing to adjust based on how business is going. For example, during stronger years like the year 2022, 2021, they repurchased a lot more shares, taking advantage of high profits. In later years, they pulled back on repurchases to focus on reinvestment. Their dividend trend, though, is impressive. It's been consistently growing. That that shows Target wants to position itself as a company that rewards shareholders while still being flexible enough to reinvest when and as they need. So overall, Walmart's strategy is steady and low risk, while Target's is a little more aggressive and performance based. Both are smart in their own ways, as Walmart appeals to investors who like to be reliable, and Target appeals to those looking for potential growth. And now we're going to talk about the shareholder equity. When we look at both companies side by side, their approaches to shareholder equity really reflect their business identity. Walmart's entire financial structure is built on stability. They maintain high retained earnings and consistent dividends and predictable buybacks. It's a strategy that builds long term trust with investors and reinforces the idea that Walmart is a safe, dependable company, the kind of brand people can rely on no matter what's happening in the economy at the moment. Target, on the other hand, is more adaptable. Their shareholder equity strategy focuses on flexibility and performance. They use retained earnings and buybacks as tools to take advantage of opportunities when they arise. Whether that's expanding stores, improving technology, or returning value to shareholders after a strong year. So really, Walmart is playing the long game, slow, steady, with dependable growth, while Target plays a much more faster, more flexible game, focusing on capitalizing on the performance. Both companies are successful though because they understand their investor base and what they want. Walmart appeals to conservative investors who want safety and consistency, while Target attracts those who like to see bold moves and high returns when times are good. To sum it up, basically, Walmart's capital policy can be described as stable and reliable, while Target's is a little more strategic and performance driven. Both methods show that strong shareholder equity doesn't just depend on numbers, it depends on aligning financial decisions with a company's values and goals. And that wraps up my section. And next, we're going to talk about balance sheet and solvency, and I'll hand it off to Shannon Henderson for that.